Yo, what's going on? I'm Marcus, the Debt Free Dad. Here we talk finance and attorney reactions to current events and trending news. As always, if you get some value out of this video, I definitely invite you to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, all of that good stuff. Become a part of the DFD community. And disclaimer to keep the folks at the bar happy, I'm a licensed attorney, licensed in several jurisdictions. None of those jurisdictions amount to me being your attorney at law, so always seek a professional in your local area. Now, this video is kind of a throwback because I did a video on this topic some time ago. It's called Realpage, and I'm explaining a little bit about what that is. But throughout the time on my channel, I've had guests on when we talk about money or topics or hip hop or anything. But a lot of people, we go back and forth on whether owning a home, actually paying a mortgage, is an asset or a liability. Some people say it's a liability because you're always putting money out and you got to pay interest. And even when you pay it off, you're paying property tax. And by the time you pay it off, you done paid probably almost one and a half, two times what the actual price is. Me, I'm a proponent of owning a home is an asset. Most everyday millionaires, the two most important factors in the investment portfolio is their 401k and actually owning a home. But this argument about this lawsuit that was recently filed by DOJ, note that your boy did a video on this almost 15 months ago, so I was ahead of the curve, is going to further strengthen the reason why owning a home is an asset. We're going to take a look at the video, but let me give you the brief explanation of what's going on before we dive in. I did a video some time back, and if I can find it, I'll link it somewhere above. It was on Realpage. Well, what is Realpage? Realpage is essentially an analytical software that individuals who own real estate purchase. And what this software does is it looks at market trends, it looks at eviction rates, it looks at the percentage of units that are filled, and it evaluates all of this data and all this information, and it helps the landlord of units to develop the best rent to charge. Now, that sounds like is no harm, no foul, but as soon as I heard it, I was like, this is going to be an antitrust issue. What is antitrust? Essentially, antitrust laws are a collective group of laws that want to avoid businesses colluding to fix a price. If I'm selling widgets, you selling widgets, and my man over there is selling widgets, all of us talk together and say, you know what? Let's all sell our widgets for the same price. That way, no matter where anybody go, we all will get a bag. That's essentially what this Realpage software is doing. Now it's interesting because Realpage is owned by individuals who own real estate, like maybe me or you, who got one or two properties. Realpage is owned by essentially corporate landlords who owns hundreds of thousands of rental units. And when we started looking at the landscape, almost 70% of corporate real estate individuals who had rental units were actually using Realpage software. It was a really big deal in DC. In DC, it's a very small amount of companies who actually own individual real estate, such as apartment buildings and units, and 70% of them were actually using Realpage. What does that mean? It means that across the board, the price was being fixed at a set level, because if I'm using the software, you're using the software, you're using the software, all of our prices are going to be about the same. And what the data showed was by using this Realpage software, landlords were able to increase their profits even if they had vacant units. The software was smart enough to calculate vacancies. So landlords actually didn't even have all their units running out, but they made more profit because this software will help them fix a price that it believed was appropriate with the market. But the problem is, everybody used it. It became an issue. I saw it early. DC was one of the first cities to actually file a lawsuit through the attorney general, and now DOJ is taking a stab at it. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
The Justice Department has filed an antitrust lawsuit against real estate software company Realpage. Federal regulators allege the company colluded with landlords to raise rents. Realpage is accused of sharing non-public information on rental rates and tenants to provide pricing recommendations. Prosecutors say the actions illegally disadvantage consumers nationwide.
Americans should not have to pay more in rent simply because a company has found a new way to scheme with landlords to break the law.
A Realpage company spokesperson told CBS News, quote, Realpage's revenue management software is purposely built to be legally compliant, and we have a history of working constructively with the DOJ to show that. Let's bring in congressional correspondent Scott McFarland. Scott, walk us through more about the allegations being made by the DOJ.
The Attorney General, in so many words, said Realpage is one reason, quote, the rent is too damn high, that they have allowed landlords to circumvent competing with each other, trying to make the lowest price available to do better business by having this hub, this Realpage hub, which he says shares proprietary information. Landlords can fix or set prices artificially high. One reason, people may be paying too much. Now, what came down to brass tacks during this news conference at the Department of Justice today is the difference between somebody doing something him or herself or somebody using AI or algorithms to do something. What the Department of Justice is alleging in this lawsuit and in their announcement today, Lindsay, is that just because you're using AI or algorithms to help program your business doesn't mean you're not responsible for how those things are being programmed if they're circumventing the law, or in this case, circumventing the 19th century Sherman Antitrust Act.
You know, this news is just coming out, but I imagine renters will have a strong reaction to this.
Comes at a moment when people across the country may be viscerally concerned, in addition to practically concerned about the cost of their rent. It's a huge issue. When we talk to voters, we talk to citizens about what their pressing issues are: inflation, housing costs. Both mortgages and rent come up so often. Those state attorneys general have joined this federal lawsuit, clearly showing that there's an issue in their states with how this is being done. But Realpage is counterpunched here, as we expected. They say that they designed their system, their hub, and their software specifically to comply with antitrust laws. And they said in their statement to CBS News, they look forward to educating the Department of Justice about how Realpage works. That is clearly the words of a company that is poised to challenge this in court.
Scott McFarland, we know you'll stay on top of it.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it. And y'all let me know in the comments. If you're watching this video, y'all let me know. Is owning a home, having a mortgage that you're paying, is it a liability, something that's just a money pit where you keep putting money in, or is it an asset? I think this is further evidence on why having a mortgage is an actual asset. Now, I know there's some examples out there of people who have careers where they're transient, they travel a lot, and renting may be better for them. But for the average American, I think home ownership is an asset, but you don't see the benefit of that asset for at least 3 years. And, you know, like LDFD, why does it take 3 years for you to see the benefit? Because year 1, 2, and 3, you're going to see shit break. You're going to see shit break. You're going to see repairs, random emergencies pop up. But around year 3 or year 4, what you start to see is your overall cost for actual having a roof over your head that you're paying to have a roof is stabilized. Like, you know, once you stabilize it, you have a locked in fixed APR. You know that your mortgage rate is going to be essentially the same. I actually did the numbers, but I didn't ever post this video where I purchased this home I'm in 2018, and I did some research and looked at what it would have cost me in rental proceeds if I were renting a similarly situated home from 2018 to now. And the savings are ridiculous. It's asinine. Literally right now, to rent the equivalent home of what I have right now, you would be talking about something crazy like anywhere between $5,500 to $7,000. That's a wide ass range compared to the 2.2%, $2,200 mortgage payment that I got right now. So y'all let me know what it is in the comments. Let me know 2 things. Do you think this type of software that help landlords establish rental prices, do you think is an antitrust violation? Do you think it's colluding if all of the landlords are using it? I essentially do. And let me know your thoughts. Owning a home, is it an asset or a liability? Drop it in the comments. Let me know below. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the video on the screen. There's going to be more content related to finance and attorney reactions. Peace.